So I've never heard about men getting pregnant. I've never heard about this argument. It must be some part of what you call the far left that is so minuscule that I, who am...
No, Jane.
What?
It's not minuscule, and I'm sorry, you can't throw this back on us. I assume it's because you are locked into media that just never wants anyone in their audience to know anything sketchy about the blue team.
On the latest episode of Club Random, Bill Maher completely tore apart Jane Fonda's woke monologue, and it was pure, entertaining chaos. Fonda came in expecting another comfortable podcast where everyone just nods along to whatever she says. But instead, she walked straight into Maher's den, the man who hunts political nonsense for sport. Calm, sharp, and fully loaded to dismantle her talking points one by one. Let's get into it.
A garage door?
Absolutely.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that is...
No, you know this about California. Come
No,
on.
I don't.
Well,
I'm sorry, I don't.
You've never heard that California is overtaxed and overregulated? That we are a one-party state where there's sort of no checks on that sort of extreme leftism. And that, what do you think?
I don't for a minute consider California a state that is extreme leftist. Not at all, not any way.
Well, that shows where your politics are.
Jane Fonda has been living inside the Hollywood bubble for so long, she probably believes the air outside smells like a movie set. Years of red carpets, polite applause, and virtue-signaling crowds have blurred her sense of what's real and what's just good lighting. In her world, hashtags count as logic and moral preaching passes for a TED Talk. But Maher, he's not buying any of it. He came ready with the truth, prepared to burst that cinematic fantasy and bring Fonda crashing back down to earth, where bills are real and bad ideas come with consequences. Grab your popcorn, this one's going to sting.
Became the birthers, they became the Tea Party. There's about a third of this country that's very hard right.
Mm-hmm.
Of course they love Trump. When he left office, he had an approval rating of 34%. So he really only had those people.
Mm-hmm.
Why is he now tied? Because the other part of the coalition are people who, they don't really like him that much. They just think the far left has gone so nutty on so many issues.
That's what they're being told.
That's what
By people like you.
Because it's true. You think the far left does nothing crazy?
Oh, I'm sure they...
Woke isn't just a mindset anymore. It's turned into a full-blown belief system that stretches across culture, politics, entertainment, and even language itself. That it's an ideology that wages war on common sense, bends science into activism, and rewrites history to fit a comforting narrative. In that world, facts become flexible, logic is offensive, and feelings sit on the throne where truth used to be. And that's the real problem. This isn't about equality anymore. It's about control dressed up as compassion. I just wish Maher had pressed that point even harder. He hinted at it, but never quite detonated the argument. Maybe he's keeping one eye on his liberal fanbase. Still, someone needs to say it clearly. Woke culture isn't progress. It's the slow erosion of reason.
Who is the far left? What do you mean when you say far left?
I mean, I could give you a million examples.
Yeah, well, give me one.
Okay, the NAACP.
You think the NAACP is far
Could I
left?
finish my sentence?
Yes.
You asked me for an example.
Yeah.
Travel advisory, that's like the State Department does to go to, I'm sure when you went to Vietnam, they were advising you not to. There's a lot.
I didn't talk to them. I don't have no idea.
I know, but you know a travel advisory.
Yeah.
Today we have them for very dangerous countries.
Yeah.
Don't go to North Korea. Don't go to Iran.
Yeah.
You know where they issued a travel advisory for black people not to go?
Yeah.
Florida. But they just suggest something to the average person, which I completely understand, which is, wow, do you people ever find anything that's ridiculous?
Nope. Trans women can't get pregnant. That's not hate. That's biology. Maher nailed it when he said the trans movement should be about fighting for rights and dignity, not about rewriting scientific truth. There's a huge difference between asking for respect and demanding that everyone abandon reason to protect an ideology. The movement loses credibility the moment it replaces facts with feelings, like claiming men can give birth, or pretending gender and biological sex are completely unrelated. That kind of extremism doesn't build bridges. It burns them. The real path forward is through honesty, freedom, and mutual respect, not through speech policing or public shaming. Because once debate turns into dogma, the conversation dies, and with it, any real chance at understanding.
They think men can get pregnant? That kind of stuff. And I understand that a trans woman can get pregnant. That's different than a man getting pregnant. And the way they sort of insist on blurring that line is if that's some sort of reasonable social cause, as opposed to just being for having full rights, respect, and protection for trans people.
And that was the knockout punch. Jane Fonda tried to pivot faster than a politician caught in a scandal. One moment she's defending the far left, and the next she's acting like she's never heard anyone say men can get pregnant. Come on, Jane. That line's been floating around talk shows, college panels, and Twitter threads for years. You can't just erase it because it's inconvenient. Then, realizing she trapped herself, she scrambled for cover, insisting that the woke crowd is just a small faction of the Democratic Party. But Maher wasn't buying that. With one sharp comeback, he exposed the truth. This isn't some fringe movement anymore. It's front and center in modern liberal politics. In that moment, everything cracked open. The denial, the deflection, and the on-camera attempt to gaslight reality itself.
Full rights, respect, and protection for trans people. We get that.
So I've never heard about men getting pregnant. I've never heard about this argument. It must be some part of what you call the far left that is so minuscule that I, who am...
No, Jane.
What?
It's not minuscule, and I'm sorry, you can't throw this back on us. I assume it's because you are locked into media that just never wants anyone in their audience to know anything sketchy about the blue team.
I mean, I don't know. I read two papers, and maybe I don't. I should watch Fox News.
No,
I guess.
I don't watch that. That's too far.
And that's how it wrapped up, with Jane Fonda basically waving the white flag. Cornered and clearly uncomfortable, she tried to lighten the mood with a joke about wishing she'd watched more Fox News. But that line cut deeper than she probably intended. It wasn't just humor, it was an unintentional confession that she's been living in an echo chamber all along. For years, her Hollywood circle has shielded her from the raw, unfiltered debates happening in the real world, on news channels, social media, and around kitchen tables across America. While she floated in a sea of applause from like-minded elites, the world kept moving without her. Maher simply pulled the curtain back, and for the first time, she saw how far that bubble had drifted from reality. Sometimes the truth doesn't have to shout, it just needs to pop the illusion.